Welcome to the Sanity Project podcast, where you can awaken your mind to clarity and success even in today's life challenges. We're here to provide insights and solutions that will help you live a sane, healthy, and prosperous life. Here's your host, Joanne Victoria.
Hello, everybody. This is Joanne Victoria with another amazing episode of the Sanity Project podcast. You are here to discover a life of clarity, confidence, sanity, and entrepreneurial success. And our guest today is an entrepreneur. Tanaha Hairston is the founder of AXISMETA, AXISMETA, and she is a successful tech investor and business strategist specializing in methods and tools to increase valuation and lead generation. That just distills down to she's been at this for over 15 years. She has sold multiple businesses in various industries, and she knows which ones to go for. Today, she is going to help women investors and business owners reduce the risk of failure and be consistently profitable while doubling the bottom line without additional hiring. Welcome to the show, Tanaha Hairston.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me today, Joanne. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, I am glad that you are here because you are one of the forefront of speakers, presenters, because you have the answers to some of the questions that I have. So, you want to, and from what I understand, what you're doing now in this portion of your life is working with women. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, like so many of us, right? We get to a point where I had 3 kids and, now my kids are getting older. They're 3 teenagers. And so what I did before while I was raising them is really something different than the way that I want to live my life now that I'm preparing them to fly once they leave the nest. So, and that really is helping other women, bringing women together, and helping to bring in experts from all financial industries to educate us so that we can learn how to grow and protect what we have. Before, while I was rearing them, it was having a business and, having great cash flow. So that way we can continue our lifestyle, my lifestyle as a mom with lifestyle businesses. But now that they're older, and I was telling you prior to the show that I'm looking with colleges with my daughter, now it's let's bring women together, smart women. Let me bring in these financial experts and let me have them educate us to grow and protect what we have. That's where I'm at now.
And that's where you are now, and that's what you're doing. So grow and protect. So how do we do that? How do women, what type of a woman are you talking about? Are you talking about somebody who is, moving forward in her own life and who is maybe similar to you, where your children are leaving the nest and they're going in their own separate ways, and it leaves you with time on your hands? Not time on your hands, but time where you could think of a different method of working.
Yes. So I think I'm very similar, right, to other women in that when you are younger or when you have your children, you try really hard to make decisions that will be the best for your family. Right. So that was me. I tried very hard I knew that I wanted a business, but I also knew that I wanted to be a parent that was also there for them. So both of those things were important to me. So let me just start from the beginning. So years ago, I was married. I was married very, very young. And my former spouse had a beautiful and great career. And we had an advisor and he never looked at me, right? So my desire to where I'm at now, actually the seed was planted years ago. He never looked at me, never really talked to me, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm educated too. I want you to explain what's going on and how you're protecting what we have. So we had a financial advisor, never looked at me, never spoke to me, right? And I remember thinking, I am really smart. Explain, these basic things to me. So what I'm doing now started years ago, but I had 3 kids and they were small and I was focused on them. Right. So then it continued to 9 years ago, we actually went through a divorce. And then we had a savings. I had a savings, but I was now the financial leader of my household. And again, no one really wanted to educate me on how I could grow what I had or even protect it. And so I started a business because I really didn't want to touch that, right? I really wanted our savings to be something that I could have for my kids when they were older. So what was I going to do? Well, luckily for me, around that time, I went back to grad school to prepare for my divorce, and I got asked to run this angel investment network. It's like Shark Tank without the drama.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working with all of these angel investors. And the beautiful part is that I got this mindset right over the course of the couple years as to how to look at businesses, value them, and decide what would be appropriate ones to put in front of our investor base. And so it's a way of thinking and looking at things. And during that time, I want to say there was never really very few women that came, never really any women that came. And so number 2, I remember that. I wish there were more women that were in here, but my kids were younger. I didn't feel like I could do anything quite about it then. And so never any women came, never had a financial advisor or anybody that would really educate me on the finance side of things. I felt like I was a smart woman. You know, I have an undergrad in computer science, so I could have code. I used to code and I was getting my MBA, but I wasn't smart in financial matters because it's just a different path, right? Like
Right.
I've taken a different path, you've taken a different path, and that's okay. But I wanted someone to educate me, and no one ever really did, actually. So it wasn't until I got around these investors that I really started to have this mindset. And then it wasn't until I became the financial leader of my own house that I thought, well, gosh, I can't take this great corporate job that I want because these babies are little. So I'm going to have to start a business. And if I had to do it all over now, I don't know if I would have started something from scratch. I would not have done that actually, because there's a lot to that, right? Creating revenue from ground zero.
Oh, yes.
So I would not have done that actually. I would have taken it, and to be frank, I would have taken that and what I did to start the business and negotiated with somebody of some business that wanted to sell it. And then I would have taken that over. If I had to do it all over again, I'm just being honest, because there's already a product market fit. There's already a customer base. I would have taken my tech background, my secret sauce, and put tech systems in there. We all have our own secret sauce, whatever we've spent our time doing. And I would have taken what I knew how to do to grow. And I would have done that. That would have been a lot easier than trying to start something from ground zero, right? But, and then so fast forward after I, really did build a business, and then that first one I sold, and then I created these partnerships along the way. Now that the kids are older, I thought, you know what, I can finally come back full circle to where I wanted to be and to where I wanted to be taught, and really kind of use this opportunity and my experiences. And to me, it's about, right, because we're all very smart. Anyone who's listening to this podcast has a thirst for learning, and they have a thirst for growing, and they want to be better, and they want to do better, right? Which is always how I've been. I've always wanted to just be better, and I've always just wanted to do it for myself. Right. So, so anyone who listens to you and who follows you, they probably have a similar mindset. And so for me, it's about bringing women together, finding these women that aren't motivated to sell things based off of, that may not be fiduciary responsibility towards us, but yet, they can present opportunities to us that we can invest in, where we can actually grow what we have. Just like sorry for saying this, but the men, right? I've seen them over the years where they'll get a phone call and they'll say, hi, I have this opportunity. Would you like to invest? Hey, I have this opportunity. Would you like to invest? And I've just kind of seen this perpetual, kind of thought throughout my, I'm 46 now, throughout my time, where I feel like men share things. And so I would love to have a community. My vision is to have a community where women come together and they share, and we bring in experts to educate us, and then we grow together, and we grow our savings together. we protect it, and we learn some of the things that I've been seeing men share. So that I would love that for us.
Yeah, I think that's important. I remember one of the many things flashed in my mind right now, but many, many, many years ago, I hired this coach, and he was a man, because who knew about coaching years ago? So I hired him, a coach, consultant, whatever you want to call him. And after a period of time, he said we basically had to break up, quote unquote. He was firing me, and I was tongue-tied because I didn't know why. And he decided to tell me, and I say that because I don't know if this is what he meant, but he told me that I wasn't performing the way he had expected me to, and I wasn't performing as fast as he wanted me to, all of that. And so he was letting me go. And I was in shock, because this was a long time ago, but I was in shock because I had no idea what his expectations were. And that's part of the problem. Men do not know what women's expectations are, and they don't seem to care. And they
No.
don't, I mean, seriously, they don't seem to care. I mean, you could see any relationship, any business relationship, or any kind of a relationship between a man and a woman together. They're not equal. They're not parity. There's no parity there. One's higher and one's lower, and it's usually the woman that is lower. And when this thing happened to me, I was so new in that world that I just said, oh, okay. I mean, I was stunned. Let's put it that way. And he's a famous person. He's out there still doing his crap and all that jazz. And, he's fine. And, what, I have nothing to say about him specifically, but I have something to say about him as his gender. He didn't care. He didn't discuss how I could move forward. He didn't say, all he said was, you're going to have to find somebody else. It was like, this was weird. I mean, to me, it was weird. It was like, it was as if my husband was breaking up with me, but here you got to go get another guy. It was like really weird. And I didn't know what to do. And I think that and time has really no room in this, because time just flies by. So you are creating an opportunity for women to ask these questions, to explore, to feel comfortable or uncomfortable as appropriate in this situation. Yes?
Yes, that's exactly right, right? Because as you said, we are different. We look at things differently. We assess things differently. And again, I'm generalizing, but since I've taken a look at this holistically, and how do women really think about investing what they have, it really is very different, right? And the data actually shows that we make better investors. We really do. And the data actually shows that we're not risk averse, right? Like some of the PR is written about it. We just like calculated risk. We just like to be educated first. So there is a different mindset and mentality, according to research, that the way that we look at things versus the way men look at things. Typically their conversations are, right? Hi, I've got this opportunity. Oh, hey, it's good to talk to you again. You got to come see this. Oh, great. And then it's a 2-second conversation. Then they come and take a look. It's very different, right? We like to do our research first. We
Absolutely.
like to be educated. Mm-hmm. So it is different.
Yeah, it is different. And it's different enough to, require a conversation or two. I mean, we're not going to sit down and have a drink and discuss this in 15 minutes. That's not enough time. But once it's not enough time. And once a woman gets it, she's got it for life. It doesn't change.
Right. Absolutely. I was just going to say, you're so right. And it does show that we can, over time, we outperform men as investors. And as long as the whole idea behind the community is because sometimes we're afraid, right? And it's because we don't know. But as you know, right, just as you said, 10 years ago when you started, or for even me 10 years ago, there are certain concepts that I'm so comfortable talking about now versus 10 years ago, I would pause and I would think, oh gosh, I don't know that. But now, 10 years later, I'm so comfortable with it. And so we just really have to be educated on it and be okay with getting ourselves educated on these things, because that's really consistently investing is how you grow what you have saved over time. So, and then learning how to protect that too. And I think that that's something as I've really kind of shifted gears from operationally building my business to learning how to invest what I have. And you wouldn't even believe it. Like, as I look at like these investment companies and firms, like private equity firms, venture capital firms, real estate investment fund firms, metal investment firms, storage investment, the leadership is always men. And then you'll see a woman like in HR running HR.
Oh yeah, which is a thankless position to be in for any woman, any person. Yeah, they don't put men in HR. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and it's true. And so it's like, I know there are several women's groups out there, large women's groups with women who make quite a bit of money. I think we can talk about this after the show, but they make quite a bit of money and they own their own businesses. And I don't know if they need investors, but it's something to explore.
Yeah.
But I think, it's something we have to decide. You're deciding for us, at least at this juncture in your career, in your life, in your growth, in your power mode, is that women need to invest and women need to treat themselves as leaders, and women can do all sorts of things that men can, but more. And yes, better, because they're different.
Mm-hmm. You got it. And it's so true, because, and the other bit of that I want to say is what I learned when I went through my divorce, right? And then some people, everyone's different, right? That just happened to be my path. I had a change of life. Everyone's different. But I will say, when I went through my change of life, and I was forced to become the financial leader, because as you alluded to earlier, there is that parity difference. And I would say I did have that in my marriage. Even as a smart woman, I would say that I had that when I went through the change of life, and actually we were divorced and I became the financial leader. I really wanted that education, and I wanted to grow for my kids, because I really cared about their life. I mean, as any mom, we care about our kids and their future. And what I learned is that I can't just trust any financial advisor or person because I'm a novice and trust that they're going to do what's best for me. What I learned is that only I know, and this is really consistent with a lot of your messaging that I see you say too, but it's really applicable with investing. Only I know what's best for me and my family, and only I know what my goals are, and only I know where I want to go. So only I know if I need my investments to have income. Only I know if I need them to make money. Only I know where I want to be in the future for the kids. Only I know, and no one's going to care as much as I do about me, or as much as I do about my kiddos. So I've also learned that as well. And so, we can't just, from my experience, I can't just blindly just trust, someone else.
No,
to
not
make
anymore.
decisions.
Not anymore. There's just none of that. I mean, the guys can do it. God bless them. And, I hope they're successful. But obviously, based on recent headlines and dramas out there, there was really no trust.
Yes.
In those situations. And, it's just better left unsaid. But it's like, I'm in shock looking at that, and I'm going, they were also stupid. And I mean, they were stupid. I'm sorry. That's it. They were idiots. I'm going, is this real? Is this real? So you don't want to go there.
Yes, absolutely.
And I
Absolutely.
think that you will have the opportunity in your seminar or event in April
April 30th. Yep.
April 30th in New Mexico, that you will have different levels of people. Some will just, I mean, you'll have women who are 60 who are coming out going, my husband's dead. I have all this money. What do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I may be oversimplifying, but not really. And
Mm.
then you'll have another one who was, another group of people who were similar to you. My husband's left me and I have this responsibility of children. And what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what to do. And this is, and yet this is difficult. It's certainly difficult for a man to say, I don't know what to do, but it's also difficult for a woman to say, I don't know what to do. And that's part of the situation here. I don't know what to do. Not me. I mean, but people who are listening, I don't know what to do. And this is who they can call, is you, Tanya Hairston.
Yeah, and to your point, that's absolutely correct. But really, what I love about what I want to create now is finding women that are excelling in all of these different assets and highlighting them. So at this first event that we're having, I'm bringing in, you'll see a woman wealth manager, you'll see a woman financial planner. We're bringing in a woman that is a partner in a venture capital fund. Another friend of mine that's been a successful investor on her own. And I like bringing the community of these experts in place. And then, as you said, to what you were just saying, the women will come that we can see from different backgrounds. And then we can help each other, right? With here's what we've done. Here's who we know. Then let's kind of align them and help each other, because there's different opportunities. You know what? I didn't know. I didn't know that I could invest in a real estate fund and then generate 15% interest, right? I had no idea. And I didn't know that I could get income from it, right? No one ever tells you. No one ever talks about it, right? They only talk about stocks or bonds. I didn't even know, 10 years ago, the thought of even kind of buying a business wasn't on my radar, right? I know someone that just bought 15 subways, right? They took what they had from their business, their proceeds, and then they turned around and they have subways in place with operators, right? Or whatever. The concept of even buying something and growing it with what you have wasn't even on my radar 10 years ago. I didn't even know. I know someone else now through this journey that invests in storage units. I had no idea that these things were in place. The only opportunities that I knew about for me as a software engineer, right? And then when I got my MBA, it was either working corporate in some aspect, or start your own business, right? Or work with someone else. But it's kind of very siloed. Like, these are your options.
Right.
Fast forward now, I know that there are other options that we can actually look into that will grow what we have. And it doesn't even matter how much you have. You should still look into growing it, because even last year was 8.2% for our, inflation rate. So if we invest in something, if we just kind of have our money sit, it's not really doing anything.
Right.
But if we can grow it, right, then it can actually work for us. So I love the idea of bringing and highlighting women that are investing, that have opportunities to invest in, and then us, community of women, we can support those opportunities individually. I'm not investing for them. I just want to make that clear.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I'm betting the experts, and I'm bringing in these experts, and then we're going to talk about it together. But then there's a high degree of fiduciary responsibility, because we're going to talk about it as women. So it looks very, very differently, and there's much more accountability there. So instead of us investing in X and then no one knows, and we're investing by ourselves, it's no, Tanae is going to invest. Joanne also invested. Tina, ex-Tina person invested. But then we're in the same community, so we're going to communicate.
Right.
How is it going?
Yeah. Fewer secrets. I'm
Yes.
I'm liking laundromats and parking garages.
Yeah. Yeah. Park and see, just even like that, just normalizing the conversations, like how you and I are having this dialogue.
Right.
How beautiful is that?
I
How
know.
beautiful is that?
I know. So listen, how can people get in touch with you if they want to talk to you right now about something?
Okay. So the email is hello@goriseacademy.org. So I think it's important to understand that we're leading with education from exceptional finance experts that can help grow or protect. Either one, you just have to fit in that clause, grow or protect. I love that. Because it's something that we all should be, and that will advance our girls, that will advance us. I have 2 girls, so this is really important to me. So it's hello@goriseacademy.org. But in addition to that, we're also doing these events. This one is in person, April 30th in Phoenix, Arizona, but we'll be doing virtual ones. So whatever you want to do, just join in. And if you like the idea of having an investor mindset throughout your time, your journey here, then join a like-minded community. So we're really having a community of women that are interested in having an investor mindset. That's really what it is, that are interested in growing what little they may or may not have, and protecting what little they may or may not have, I think, or understanding the principles so that you could learn how to look at things, I think would be beneficial to teach our girls or the next generation. I'm really passionate about that.
And you should be. And I'm glad that you are. I'm grateful that you are. And I'm glad that you were here today and we made this happen, because there are going to be a lot of people giving you hello at goriseacademy.org. I want to thank you for being here today, Tanya. And I wish you the best of the best in moving forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having this podcast and bringing a community together that also really care about transformation. I think thank you for doing that. I really
appreciate that. Thank you. Stay on the line and we'll chat more. Bye-bye, okay, everybody. Thank you for being here.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Sanity Project podcast. Please go to AskJoanneVictoria.com to listen to more podcasts. Check out Joanne's coaching programs and get a free copy of her report, 5 Steps to Achieve Life-Work Harmony. That's AskJoanneVictoria.com. Take care, and thanks for being here.